So, a lot of people ask, hey, Dylan, have you seen this XYZ new thing, this new project, this new whatever it is? And a lot of times I haven't. I can maybe get more involved with that, but I think it's a fool's errand to always be chasing the new thing, the shiny object. And I think a lot of us in this world have, shiny object syndrome, and we constantly are looking for the new thing, right? Because we don't realize, or we don't adequately appreciate the time it takes, hard work to really pay off. They're saying gradually, then suddenly. They say in the crypto Bitcoin space, is like things take time. You may not realize the changes are happening until you realize the change has happened, right? And that if you've ever done a fitness program or anything like that, a diet, for an adequate amount of time, I'm not talking about like a week or so, like something like 3 months or so at least, because all these like short sprint type things, they work in the short term, but it's just you see a minor variation and then all of a sudden you're back to normal, right? It takes 3+ months to really start changing things, to really start getting consistent, operating in a new way, in a new frequency. And if you're constantly changing up your strategy, you're not giving it time to play out. And so the same thing with a lot of these projects and stuff in the space, right? If you're not giving your focus enough time to play out and you're constantly chasing the next one, you're doing a couple things that can create a lot of issues. One, you're never going to be the first one to know, so you're always playing catch up about something unless you got inside information. Two, the very nature of you looking for the next thing, what you're doing is you're taking money out of the first project that you invested in, the first thing that you decided on was a good idea, and you're now taking investment dollars away from that. So you're moving capital away from that thing into another thing. Well, that creates an issue because now your first thing is getting less capital from the very people that invested in it to begin with. It's getting less support, less focus, less energy, less conversation. And what that does over time is if everyone starts doing that, if that magnifies, well, then it becomes less valuable, less viable, less important, because people care about it less. And that's an issue. So you're like shooting yourself in the foot there by chasing all these new things. And so I think you have to be very careful with that, and then also take a step back and ask yourself, what do you really want to build? What do you want to have 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the line, right? And of course, if we wave a magic wand, just be instantly rich overnight, that'd be pretty great in theory. There's a lot of stories like that where it doesn't play out very well for the people. So it's something you really got to think about, and think about what will actually make you better off. What has the best possible future path for you, right? Is it jumping from project to project to project and hoping to hit a home run, but really having nothing to say for it afterwards? Cool, you got a home run, you got a bunch of money, what now? Like, now you're a sitting duck, now you're a target because you are unskilled, inexperienced, and you got lucky, and you have a bunch of money. So you don't know how to fight off the wolves that are lurking, that are seeking out people like you, right? So you have to be very, very careful wishing for something like that. On the flip side, you could spend 5, 6 years building something, learning everything about it, getting skilled at seeing, identifying the sheep from the wolves, identifying the risks from the rewards, and setting that up. You get very skilled at that, and then by the time you make enough money, right, you've earned it, and you have the strength, the experience, and the knowledge, and the connections, the network to protect that wealth and grow that wealth even further versus squander that wealth. So it's up to you to pick the path that you want to go on. And I believe if you're hopping from project to project to project, you're picking the get rich quick plan, and that never works out. Typically, it's a get poor quick, or get poor slowly, where you just constantly drain your money, your energy, your resources. You feel beaten down because nothing ever works out. I think it's much better to really do the work in the beginning and then stick to something, commit to something, and see it through to the end until it really shows that you either made it, or that you need to be smart and change direction, right? So when it comes to new projects, I'll check some out. I look at some, but I really am focused on the core things. I'm focused on Bitcoin. learning as much about that, talking about that, building that foundation, and I'm focusing on my business, my crypto business accelerator, my consulting businesses, and helping bring more people into this space, be more aware of this. So anyways, that's my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think in the comments below.